And let me see here. Do you have the score available for these two teams? I'm looking it up myself.
Well, it's written. Oh, we had a quick map check. I just missed it. I think it was all crystals. Yeah, it was all crystals with a 5/6 crystal at Eastern. And so it looks like Megawatt's going to do the Uncle route. Fear starting from Sanctuary. And before I forget, I'd like to mention our tracker today is Hitsoyan1337. So shoutouts to him. And if you're going to do the treat pool, we got a full magic refill. Not super useful right away, but always nice to have full magic. And the crab is dropping 20 rupees. That is quite useful.
Yep, you always love to see that early money in the seed gets you bomb money and bottle vendor money, and gets you that much closer to Zora money as well.
Yeah. And oh, I missed what was on Lumberjack Ledge.
It was a big 20.
Okay. So Aga not required for that. If you're gonna farm up a bit more money here, or not, Megawatt gonna try to farm some bombs from these bushes. There are two bushes here in this little kind of arrangement of bushes. Two of them will have a 50-50 bomb drop, and Megawatt is not having good luck with those bushes.
Yeah. And it looks like Fear is headed out of Lost Woods and into Kakariko Town, and Megawatt finally picking up a bomb.
Yeah, on his fourth attempt, he gets one bomb. And
Megawott says, yeah, he says, I've had enough. I've got one bomb that'll get me somewhere. So he's going to go check out what's on Race Game. And meanwhile, Fear going straight into Cackwell and getting a big 300.
Very nice. Megawatt spots a 10 bomb pack on the Race Game. And he's going to go ahead and grab it. Why not? Save you the $50 from having to buy one. And we got a flute and a sword in Cackwell.
Yeah, picking up those convenient bombs as well. Fear went into that well without bombs and lucked out by finding some bombs in that chest.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to miss that flute back there.
And this is one of the most convenient places to pick up the flute because you can activate it before you leave Kakariko Town.
Yeah, early flute is always nice for runners. It lets you route in your early game checks just so much more quickly.
Yeah, and if you want to go to Desert, that number 6 really makes it convenient, and Fear picking up a change of clothes.
Yeah, blue mail and a sword right off the bat, so we are looking good for combat. And just some bombs in the tavern. What's our bottle vendor gonna have for us today? Just some more bombs.
And Fear going ahead and activating that flute, so he will have some fast travel around the world, and we'll get to see where he heads next after this. Meanwhile, Megawatt starting those Kakariko Town checks, and so we'll pick up that flute, the sword, and the blue mail, just as FEARAgent did, and Fear having this last chicken hut check here.
Yeah, so no real obvious direction with the items we found so far. So I imagine the runners will probably go do South Shore next, or potentially they could also go into Escape, do the castle.
Yeah, with a weapon in hand, that definitely makes Escape worth doing, because sometimes when when you're going after you've done Kakariko Town, if you don't have like a really dedicated weapon, sometimes it pushes you away from escape because it's kind of a pain to do with bombs. But
Yeah.
Fear with that sword will have that decision to make. Do I do South Shore or do I do the castle?
There's also the option of Eastern, um, but I think given there are 7 items right away at the South Shore, and you can flute straight there. I think that's probably going to be their choice. And if you're actually going to check out the desert first, $50 on the ledge, and he'll go over towards Agina.
Yeah, having the flute makes this check much less painful to do. You can, like I said before, you could just flute to 6, do your Gina check, and have it crossed off your list.
Yeah, same sort of thing goes for the Ice Rod Cave on the other side of the map, which is some runners end up putting that off. Yeah. The flute makes it a lot easier to get that one out of the way.
Yeah. So we'll probably see flute to 7, I think, here. And Megawatt, meanwhile, checking Lost Woods. Nothing really there. So we're going to see Megawatt's going to Sank. And looks like he's going to flute somewhere, probably to 7 as well.
So first item, underwater, just a big 20. And another big 20. So nothing much at the dam. I imagine Fear. Just going to check out Mini Moldum Cave. I'm surprised he doesn't pick up that 20, considering how close he is to Zora money.
Well, you figure, you know, some runners they don't like to make those small checks that take a little bit of time. They want to try to make it as efficient as possible. And you figure you've got 5 checks in Mini Moldorm, and then if you're going to go Ice Rod, you've got the big 20 over there. So if nothing comes up by then you can kind of grab that last amount you need.
Yeah, the problem is they need gloves to get into that little rock pit.
That is correct. I overlooked that little detail. But FEARAgent lucking out, getting a big 20 drop off of a Mini Moldorm, so only 8 rupees away.
Yeah. Plus, without flippers or a moon pearl, that kind of makes the Zora checks not so attractive anyway. So he's probably not thinking about it just yet. We're gonna see Ice Rod Cave. We really got absolutely nothing from the South Shore. So if it's here in Ice Rod Cave, we might be heading either towards the eastern area or the castle.
Yep, and we're starting to dwindle down on checks here. So we've got the eastern area with up to 6 items, and then you've got the castle, which could have whatever. But oh yeah, and Spectacle Rock. Old Man is not in Logic, so we're trying to see if maybe this might be an Aga 1 seed.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell where this seed is going with the few items we have so far. They must be all hiding in one place, like maybe Sahasrar's closet's going to have a treasure trove for us.
Yeah, because I mean they are a cape and a moon pearl away from. Well, technically you don't even need the moon pearl. It could be on Pyramid Ledge for all we know, but we're at least a cape away from having to fight Aga 1.
Yeah, well, the lamp would be needed as well to put it
the
in
lamp as
logic.
well.
But Fear is going to go up the mountain. He's going to follow that flute. He's saying the flute puts this item in logic, so I'm going to check it, even though there's more items in other places.
And Fear is just gonna blind go for it.
Yeah, gonna grab whatever item is there, check the hint. And it looks like Megawatt's probably going to do the same thing. Well, he's going to take a health refill first. And that hint is pretty useless. Some cash is near Misery Mire.
So, again, we're coming up empty, so this seed is being very stingy.
Yeah, so we basically got the castle and the eastern area left. I think Fear is going to do the castle first because he hasn't done Uncle yet either.
Yeah, and we've only got the front of the castle for now, unless we find some gloves or the lamp.
Cool Papa Bell says, Cac had nothing. No, Cac had the flute and the sword and also the blue mail. So not significant progression, but some useful items nonetheless. And Megawatt gonna head over towards the eastern area.
Yeah, so here's where we'll get to see if Sahasrara is holding out on us, and this could be a hype closet.
Very well could be. Alright, we got big 20. A glove. Another big 20. Okay, well, the glove is, that's going to open up the back of Escape. And I imagine Megawatt's going to go straight there. It will also open up Zora.
So we're slowly inching forward on progression here.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the back of Escape going to bring for us? Hookshot, Ice Rod, and a key.
Well then, there's some of our items. So Hookshot, that opens up quite a bit, opening up East Death Mountain on the light side. So
Yeah,
that's...
there's 8 items now we can check over there, and Megawatt's going to go straight on over.
Looks like Megawatt lucking out, decided to do Eastern first, and gonna be the first to get a crack at that East Death Mountain.
That hookshot, though, often another sign of an Agaseed, just because it's often used to get over towards the western Dark World area. Oh, there's our Moon Pearl. So both plays actually turning out to be necessary. And Fear's taking a Death Warp, so I imagine he's going to go for that Dark Cross chest. So this is out of logic.
And unfortunately for him, the key is in the back of Escape, so he won't be able to get all the way to the back.
Yeah. Hey, Titan's Mitt. Alright, there's our Dark World access.
So Aga is dead.
Well, yeah, more or less. It might be logically required still, but there are sequence breaks we can do to get around it.
Yeah, Ranger pointing out, except for maybe Hammer and Pyramid Fairy. I suppose, that could be...
That would be the one situation where you could not sequence break around Aga. You would have to kill Aga to get the portal. But runners are really hoping that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's definitely a rude awakening if you ever have to do that.
So I'm not sure what Fear picked up in the Dark Cross chest, but he's going to save and quit. And Megawatt is going to check out Spiral Cave. And wow, red mail.
So our runners are pretty safe today. Now, here's where Megawatt... it does look like Megawatt is going to go to the front of the castle. I'm not sure, other than going into Eastern, what else he may have had left. I think that's about it.
There is, we can actually, with the Titans, Mitts, and Flute, we can get to the Misery Mire area. We know one of the items in the Mire Shed is cash, from a hint, but the other item could be some progression. But
Yeah,
other than that, I guess we're also looking at. There's 6 items actually on Dark Death Mountain now we can get to.
yeah, he didn't have the Moon Pearl, so that's what I was kind of
Once he gets the
worried
Moon
about.
Pearl.
Yeah, he'll be wide open then.
Yeah, once he gets the Moon Pearl, we can get to Super Bunny Cave and to Hookshot Cave. As well, we can also check the Turtle Rock Medallion. Fear's going to head into Eastern, though. So we'll see if this pays off for him.
This is one of the things that you don't like to have to do. A lot of people like to avoid going in here as much as possible until they get the bow. But a lot of times the seed will force you to dip in here for an item or so.
Yeah. Yes, most of the checks in Eastern are Sphere 1 checks, which means you don't need any items to get there. So there's really no way to know for sure if there's going to be something here until you actually check it.
So Megawatt picked up that Moon Pearl, and now we will see what his plan is going to be. He's got a lot of options, and it looks like he's busting out that flute. So probably gonna flute to Kakariko Town and do Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, that looks like what he's doing. Personally, I like to go and just knock out those Mire area checks first, but he's just going straight for it. And if you're just getting a joke hint in Eastern.
So I saw a 6 on Thieves Town, and I believe a 5 on Mire. I could have missed the Mire one. I didn't see that one right away.
Yeah, I didn't see it very well. Chess game, just a piece of heart. And if you're making it through the Eastern Dark Rooms, he's got one more chest in here you can check.
Yeah, I imagine unless this is Bow, I can see Fear going to Back of Escape from here.
So yeah, just $50. So Eastern play not working out for FEARAgent.
Right, so Megawatt headed into Thieves Town. Gonna check out what's here, and we'll see if there's anything in the front floor.
There's the hookshot and ice rod for FEARAgent.
And that's kind of a nice peace of mind to have, having that ice rod so early, because I believe Turtle Rock was a crystal, so not having to search for that thing just for Turtle Rock will be very nice.
Yeah, that's one of those things that that can sometimes just make or break a race when one runner just can't find the ice rod. So both of them have it, so we won't have to worry about that today.
And Megawatt picking up our first bottle filled with blue goo in the big key chest of Thieves Town.
So Fear will grab his Titan's mitts, and since he does have the Moon Pearl, he'll be able to go and do Super Bunny Cave and Hookshot Cave, and I'd be surprised if he doesn't do that.
Yeah. This will work out for Fear very nicely after having grabbed that Moon Pearl first. So he may get an early prize here that Megawatt won't go back to until he's ready to go back up to Death Mountain.
So Fear going to do the bomb jump here. So I'm guessing he will check Spiral Cave and then probably just hop right in to that portal and go up Super Bunny Cave.
And Megawatt checking a hint. We've got a unique item in Skull Woods, so that'll be something that we're definitely interested in.
Yeah, I imagine he'll be heading straight up there after Thieves Town. It's definitely sometimes can be a risky decision to head into Thieves Town with no hammer, because you do risk leaving an item behind in that big chest.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those calls that I see some runners avoid Thieves Town for an extremely long period of time trying to find that hammer, just so that they can take care of it all at once.
And Megawatt does have that small key, which means there very well could be an item in that big chest. Thieves Town is a crystal, because I can hear the crystal music.
Yeah, Thieves Town, I believe, is a 6 crystal. I know it was a red. I'm not sure. I can't remember if it was a 5 or 6.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get another look on FEARAgent's screen when he does a map check.
All right, so here's what we're going to find in Super Bunny Cave.
Hey, we got a Master Sword. And meanwhile, Megawatt can take on Blind. Getting off script a bit, but he's got red mail, so he should be fine. Oh, we got 5-6 is in Thieves Town, yeah. Skullwood's a pendant, and Swamp, I believe, was a pendant, as well as Pod being the green pendant.
Yep.
And oh, man, unfortunately, Megawatt taking a death to Blind.
Okay. So FEARAgent is going to check this hookshot cave here, and we'll see if there's anything of value in here. A lot of times, there's something worthwhile.
Well, we got a cape and a red boomerang. So that cape and Master Sword, that could be pointing towards Aga. Now, if you know, there's actually a way to fake flipper across to pod. So if these players know how to do that, they'll be able to skip Aga. Of course, we have no idea for sure if it's required or not yet. There's still a lot of checks to do. Alright, Megawatt takes down Blind on the second try. And he gets his first crystal. Oh yeah, Turtle Rock Medallion was Ether. I did see that.
So, Megawatt finished with Thieves Town. Doesn't look terribly curious about what is in Skull Woods at this moment. Looks to be headed south to race game. Maybe yeah, but we're getting a blacksmith pickup here.
Yeah, Fear. Meanwhile, oh man, there's that hammer.
Wow, and hey,
Oh,
we got a cape, right?
yep.
So by extension, Hookshot Cave is big news having that cape.
Yeah, yeah. GFE, the cape was in Hookshot Cave. So with that, Aga officially not required now.
And so we're gonna have to see how long it's gonna take Megawatt to go back up to Death Mountain. I'm sure it'll be on his mind eventually, but I'm not sure how far the seed will let him go before having to force him back up to Death Mountain.
Yeah. Now that said, there is 6 items up there, so I don't imagine he'll be putting it off for too long. But after that, he also has to make his way to Bumper Cave because he hasn't checked that yet.
That is true as well.
GFE, I wasn't counting. There was an item on Blind. I am not 100% sure if there was an item in the big chest.
So, but we will see because FEARAgent will be able to open that big chest.
And Megawatt. And check Sick Kid. And we got a vanilla bug net.
There you go.
And meanwhile, gonna take the blacksmith over. Maybe we'll get a vanilla sword upgrade as well.
Nope, just a tip. Here's your 20 rupees for taking me back home. So, I'm assuming that Megawatt is gonna go and check Skull Woods and maybe perhaps swing by Bumper as well afterwards.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't isolate that location because that could be very bad for him. But we might see what that unique item is. We did get a hint. There's a unique item in Skull Woods, but we don't know. It could be locked behind the.
That'll easily give him easy pod access and push him a little bit farther away from going back up Death Mountain. And Megawatt having a little trouble with those Gibdos.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's also a unique item. So we got boots.
man, Skull Woods it must be a footwear store.
Yeah. Oh no, Megawatt did not check Bumper Cave.
But luckily is going to get that cape, so it may make him think to check it.
Yeah, he he might also be tempted to check flipper locations first.
Either way, Fear is going to grab the maiden, and we'll soon after that, unless there's no items, because I have not been keeping track,
There's a
we'll get to
compass
see
there.
that big chest check.
Okay, I think there's a map in this chest. So I think Megawatt got all the items. No, Megawatt did not check Bumper Cave, which has the hammer. So right now that is an isolated location for him. The only thing that might bring him back there is the mirror, so he can route it in with Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, and as I said, getting that cape, it may put it in his mind to say, okay, now I can get what's on Bumper Ledge, so maybe I should check it. But
Yeah, but at the same time,
any little thing can really.
it is a single item, and it might not be something that's high on his priority list. We'll just have to see.
Yeah.
Unless Megawatt did check it and I missed it.
I do not believe he checked it, but we're gonna get a Bonk Rock check here.
I'm surprised he didn't check Kingston first. Switch heart container in Bonk Rocks.
And he may be he may have done it this way because he may be going up to Zora now. So you go Bonk Rocks, King's Tomb, then swim across to Zora.
Yeah, that could make sense. Oh, the mirror. Okay, that's a pretty big find.
So is he gonna do? Oh, he's good. It looks like he's going to do Mire and Checkerboard.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have a fire source, so he cannot complete desert, but he can at least check the front of it, as well as Checkerboard Cave. And picks up the lamp. Okay, well, now we can complete desert.
Wow, this seed is busting wide open at this point.
FEARAgent in Schoolwoods. He should pick up his boots and flippers. Boots were in. Oh no, no, Fear, no. Fear is leaving the boots behind.
Yeah, he probably thought that the flippers were the unique item.
Yeah, this is so that vanilla big key chest in Schoolwoods is. I do see runners sometimes just skip it because it's just one chest. It might not even have an item, and it's kind of long to check. But it's really going to hurt him.
Yeah, because he's gonna need those boots to get get that King's Tomb, the mirror out of King's Tomb.
Yeah. The mirror might not be required necessarily, unless it locks an item we need, because Swamp Palace is a pendant.
Correct. But as well, having the mirror and the boots is, going to add up into a speed advantage over time.
Yeah. So, Megawatt missing that hammer, FEARAgent missing the boots and the mirror. I don't know which one is going to hurt the most right now.
Well, the hammer is definitely far more it adds more limitations, but at the same time, the hammer is in plain sight. If Megawatt just chooses to go past Bumper Ledge, he'll find it. So that's the advantage kind of that Megawatt has in that respect.
Yeah. So the big thing for Fear is going to be where that fire rod ends up, because that's the only thing that might bring him back to Skull Woods.
So our dig game is dead. Was that prize a blue rupee?
Yeah, I think it was nothing important. Alright, there is crystal number 2 from Megawatt. Now, was Desert Boots locked? I didn't catch that.
I did not catch it either, because that's that's another big thing. If it is.
Okay, Megawatt now, with that mirror, he can go up and do Hera. So that's where he's headed.
Spy, the hammer is on Bumper Ledge.
Okay, chat letting us know Desert was indeed boots locked. So Fear will need to get back to Skull Woods to get those boots.
And here we'll see if Hera is fire locked. So we have another unique item on the firelock side of Misery Mire.
Alright. Well, once we find Bombos, we can check that. Coffee time from Megawatt.
So, given Fear's loadout, Mire area is, looks like he's going there next. Gonna get that lamp. And I can't think of where else. Well, he could go to Zora after that.
Yeah, he might go into Pod. He'll have the lamp, so it'll put more stuff into logic. And there's a lot more items in Pod than there is in Skull Woods.
Actually, mirror could be required if book is in GT.
Yeah, mirror certainly can be required. We just don't know for sure yet. Whoops. Megawatt trying to do the dash through the bumper, but not quite on the right pixel.
And it looks like Fear may be headed up to Hera here.
One of the items in Hero was bombs. I did not see the other item. Okay, Fear is not in a good position right now.
I don't think I've ever had that one happen to me.
And he's also on 1 heart. So, he does have red mail, so I don't think it would kill him, but definitely not a fun spot. Megawatt taking a fall. But, okay. Second attempt gets Moldon done.
So that's Crystal 3 for Megawatt. This is only going to make number 2 for Fear. So I'm trying to figure out... I'm trying to think here what other good plays, you might see Fear doing. Because going back to Skull Woods at this point, unless you find a Fire Rod, is not an attractive play to make.
No. My guess is he'll probably go to Pod next. Alright, Megawatt going into the Dark World. Will he check Bumper Cave? Looks like he is headed in that direction, so he should get his hammer here. No. No, he's going to go do Purple Chest. No. Okay, I'm wrong twice.
Race game came 45. Stumpy. Did he do Stumpy already?
Okay, I thought he did these, but I guess not.
He couldn't do race game before because he had the blacksmith with him. But I'm not sure if he checked Stumpy when he checked Hype Cave. And then he obviously has Cave 45, which he hasn't been to yet.
Yeah, so I'm guessing he'll do that. I don't know if he's going to go up to Bumper Ledge after this.
If it was me, I might go Graveyard, Bumper, Graveyard, and then hop across, go do Catfish into Zora at this point.
Okay, he's going back up. So...
This can only be the Bumper Ledge. No, never mind.
He's going to do Purple Chest.
Purple Chest.
K45, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so he might just last location that hammer.
Yeah, you would hope that he goes Bumper Ledge before he ends up going Pod, because I mean, Pod could have something still, but it's not going to have the hammer, which is going to severely restrict his options.
Yeah. Oh no, Fear. Takes the fall of shame, unfortunately.
Yeah, Fear getting knocked into the penalty box.
Yeah, Fear has the lamp now. Alright, let's see what the purple chest has. Megawatt could also dip into Swamp and check that first chest. Might not be the worst play. I mean, it's not a very long check. And they'll get a hint as well out of it.
Yeah, that may be what he's doing. He probably is going to loop this in and then go to pod afterwards. That's my guess.
Yeah, he is going to check the first chest in Swamp, so it won't be the hammer. Maybe it'll be something useful.
But we're still searching for any medallions, so this could still be big news.
Yep. Yeah, we do need both Bombos and Ether. If you're going to use a hammer...
Oh, wow.
Wow!
That is so lucky. Wow,
That
what a
is
hint.
probably one of the most perfectly timed hints I've ever seen. So if you missed it, Megawatt just got the hint inside Swamp that the hammer requires the cape, which is only refers to Bumper Ledge, no other locations. So he knows exactly where to go after this.
Now, does it truly is that truly the only place, like, or could it also refer to like Spike Cave where
No, because you can also get through Spike Cave with the Cane of Burna.
okay. I figured as much, I just wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, that hint only means Bumper Ledge. Speaking of Spike Cave, Fear's gonna check that now. Almost selected the flute instead of the cape, which could have been disastrous. He gets a piece of heart.
But yeah, that's a huge break for Megawatt.
Yeah, it absolutely is. So I would say this. It's still early in the race, but definitely Megawatt has a significant advantage now. Fear really needs to get back to Skull Woods to get those boots, but I just don't see anything that might bring him back there. Unless he gets a boots hint, but we might have already seen that because we had a hint that said unique item in Skull Woods.
Yeah. The boots hint was in desert, which he can't get to until the book or the mirror.
Oh, there was another hint in desert. I missed that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so hopefully Fear will find the book, but he may not.
So, Megawatt has a lot more options now with that hammer. And
Yeah.
any hope of Aga has faded with that hammer being available.
Alright, so where's Megawatt going? Is this a swamp play or potentially a pod play? Looks like a swamp play to me.
Yeah. Interesting play to make.
It makes sense. I mean, he has no crystals that he can complete, and Swamp has 6 items.
Yeah.
So this seems to be kind of right now your biggest, your most item dense option at the moment. And if you're going to check Zora, Just some really expensive bombs.
Yeah, and without medallions, we can't even get into Mire, and we also need the cane for Turtle Rock, so options are still limited a bit.
Oh,
Well, speaking of cane,
yeah. So that actually opens up nothing right now, but it is an item we need for sure.
yep. Once we get the medallion for Mire, that means that'll be completable, and medallion for Turtle Rock will give us some access. We still need the fire rod for that one.
Alright, FEARAgent heading into pod. So, not going to find the boots or the mirror.
Could find the bow.
Could find the bow. That would be pretty big. We're still looking, of course, for that fire rod, a Bombos medallion, and ether medallion.
And silver's still at large as well.
Yep. Silver's not required, but very nice to have, especially on Master Sword. Hey, there's our Bombos medallion.
So now we can complete Mire.
Yep. Yeah, Mire fully completable. We could dip Turtle Rock, but it's not the most attractive option without a fire rod. So that mirror, extremely important right now.
Yeah, Fear's going to have to hope for some progression here, because
The best
if
thing
the
for
bow
Fear,
is here,
the best thing for Fear right now is the fire rod to get
yeah,
him back to Skullwoods.
if the bow or the fire rod is here, it won't be wasted time. But if he comes up empty, then unfortunately it's just a time sink that didn't pay off.
I think that hint said Green Pendant was useless, I think.
Yep, just cash on green pendant.
Alright, Megawatt heading straight into Mire. Oh yeah, Hitsuyan, our tracker, also pointing out Ice now fully in logic. So I'm guessing he'll do Mire and probably head into Ice after this.
Yes, Spy. Mirror was behind Boots. Mirror is in King's Tomb. So yeah, we do have a unique item here in Mire, so that's one of our 2 items.
Yeah, Romer, the book would also be pretty nice for Fear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you're rooting for Fear, you want to see a Fire Rod or a book here.
Or pretty much like even anything that that the seed requires being here, is fine, because it would mean that Megawatt would have to come here anyway.
You're getting bullied a little bit by these beetles.
And Megawatt getting everyone's favorite big key, the big key on the bridge. So there's The other item in Mire, it's just a green rupee, so we know where our other item is, and that is on the Firelocked side. So Megawott gonna head over to the Firelocked side, has the big key, and gonna cross his fingers that it's not behind the cutscene.
Fear picking up the Quake medallion and Pod. That's the only medallion we don't need. Okay, there's our map. So our unique item is behind the cutscene room. Fear making his way through the Pod dark maze. And finds a tempered sword. So that's nice to have, but not what he's looking for.
And that's not good news for Fear, because yeah, that's an empty pod, really.
And there's our Ether medallion. So Turtle Rock is open. Yeah.
That's
got that bow and fire rod left is what we're looking for.
yeah, that's that Ether medallion. Being that Fire Rod is one of the major items still at large, and our last required item for Turtle Rock, I don't think we'll have to double dip Turtle Rock here. But yeah,
Not likely, but it is always possible.
Could be something like Mushroom in the first chest or something. We won't have to go too deep into Turtle Rock. I mean, by key logic, the farthest we can get is what, Chain Chomp Room?
No, it's actually... It is possible to get all the way to Laser Bridge if the keys are laid out perfectly.
Because you need the Fire Rod for the Torch Room, which
but you can have you can have a key in the Compass Room and a key in the Chain Chomp Room, and that would be enough to get you to the Vanilla Big Key chest. I have definitely seen Fire Rod on Laser Bridge before, so I know it's possible. Megawott, can you use the cape? Little trick I just found out about recently. When you are doing sword slashes with the cape, it makes your magic drain a lot more slowly. So Megawatt kind of abusing that little glitch to take care of those eyeballs very easily.
Yeah, I've always found that Vitreous is a fun boss because the strategies you can use to defeat him are kind of like highly varied, because you can use, if you have the cape, you can use the sword slashes as you mentioned. If you have, per se, like, you can use cane, like the blue cane, you can just do it normally. You can use silver arrows.
Yeah, there's a lot of strategies for fighting Vitreous. Okay, we got powder on the catfish. So, if that leads to something, that could be big for Fear.
Yeah. The one thing, though, is that Megawatt has not checked that area at all yet, so it's still probably in the back of his mind as a good cluster of items to check. So, because with that mirror, you can just do catfish into Zora and be done with it.
Alright, dig spot turning up nothing.
Boots are in the middle chest in Skullwoods, the big key chest.
Yeah, FEARAgent did the front of Skullwoods, got the flippers, and then just noped out. And unfortunately has left the boots behind. And he needs the boots to get the mirror. And the mirror is required to get into Swamp in order to get both the Canis Maria and the Bombos medallion. So right now, Fear needs to get back to Skullwoods.
So Megawatt's going to Ice Palace. Gonna see what is there. Doesn't want to go to Turtle Rock. Oh my god. It's the Fire Rod on Magic Bat. Wow.
Okay, that's great news for Fear. Now, that'll make him a little more likely to head into Skullwoods.
And he's in Kakariko already. So,
unfortunately, it also opens up Ice Palace for him.
Oh, and that's looks like that's where he's going. But Ice Palace could have the bow. We haven't seen that yet. And there's limited options as to where it could be.
Fear, okay, he's gonna grab a potion. So it makes sense.
Yeah, it's always nice to have when you don't have half magic in here.
Okay, first item in ice is just some arrows.
But yeah, that Fire Rod is what Fear needed. It's going to give him a chance to get back into this race because Powder was where again?
Catfish.
Catfish, right. So yeah, time will tell how long it's going to take for Megawatt to get up to Catfish, but I imagine he won't head back up there until he starts running out of checks.
Yeah. And Megawatt getting the bomb jump. Doesn't have that tempered sword, so he's going to use the hook shot to take care of the pen gators.
I still use the hook shot even if I have the tempered sword. I think it's just faster.
So that hint says a unique item requires a cane of Samaria. So that could be a bow in Turtle Rock.
Yep.
Or it could just be a book in Ganis Tower.
Megawatt picking up a heart and some magic, and let's see what's
And
on
I'm
this
getting
tile.
some cash in Mimic Cave. Okay, well, we can skip that.
Yeah, it's interesting, and this is why, like, you know, you can never give up in the race because for a while, FEARAgent was it had a significant advantage in having that hammer, but eventually Megawatt found it, and then the whole thing flipped, the whole race flipped on its head, and now Fear with that Fire Rod could be poised to take some of that lead back.
Yeah, the good news for him is that those boots are locking out a lot of places. So you'll run out of spots to check fairly quickly, I think.
And Mega not getting that spin clip there.
Gets it with the hook shot instead.
Yeah, Hitsuyan pointing out in chat, we found that cane hint, so Turtle Rock is looking more and more attractive now that you know there's a unique item behind the cane. So that may be Megawatt's next move.
Yeah, if Megawatt does go into Turtle Rock, that could give FEARAgent a real shot to start catching up.
Alright, so Megawatt engaging Cold Stare. Let's see if he keeps this clean. And the Puffs escape. That is really hard to keep him corralled in there.
Yeah, especially with Master Sword.
I think I've only seen like a couple runners really do it, like where they just keep him in the corner the whole time.
Yeah, with Butter Sword, it's pretty easy to do because it only takes, I think, 4 slashes to take down each puff. But with Tempered, it's a little tougher, and with Master Sword, it's really almost impossible. But okay, there is crystal number 5 for Megawatt.
So he's grabbed the flute, and let's see if he goes up to Death Mountain. And yep, we are getting the Turtle Rock play here.
Alright, so if you're rooting for Megawatt, you want to see anything besides a key in the first chest so that he gets locked out immediately. If you're rooting for FEARAgent, you want Megawatt to be baited, so you want to see small key there.
Yeah, if you're rooting for FEARAgent, you know, anything you don't want to see, like even the bow, even if it comes down to that where you're gonna double dip Turtle Rock, but you're gonna get progression out of it anyways. That's not, that's not good for FEARAgent either.
Yeah, the bow at least might distract Megawatt into going to Pod, which we know is mostly a waste of time except for that Tempered Sword.
Catfish held the powder, which led to the Fire Rod on Magic Bat.
Of course, there is also the chance Megawatt finds the mushroom, which would mean he wouldn't need to go to Catfish.
That is true as well. GFA pointing out that, well, never mind that, GFE. It is not in Left Side Swamp because we just found out what is.
A pair of heart containers. Okay, so this is the one chest we can check right now. If it's a small key, Megawatt can go deeper, but it's a bottle, so he's locked out. I don't think he's been to Spike Cave, so he might go check that real quick.
Yeah. And is Fear gonna head back to Skull Woods?
He is headed in the right direction. And I wonder if we're going to see some rage slashes when he finds those boots.
Yeah, that's definitely a feels bad moment when you could have had him so much earlier. You know, it wouldn't be as bad if they were locked behind the fire rod, but nope, they were plain accessible for a long time.
Megawatt getting to the end of Spike Cave on a half heart. And Megawatt looks to be headed towards Pod. Makes sense.
Well, yep, this is good for Fear. There's nothing in Pod but a sword, I believe, so Megawatt's just gonna spend a bunch of time looking for stuff, and yep, there's the Rage Slash.
Rage Bonk. And now a save and quit. Yeah, I would not be feeling very good about finding those boots there after you were able to get them so long ago.
But Fear now has time to catch up. Megawatt's gonna spend some time in Pod, and Fear will be able to get to Desert, as well as
Yeah.
let's see what else. And Swamp Palace, get those things.
And he just stands there. He is really, really unhappy right now. So he's got the mirror. So he needs to head to Swamp to get his Cane of Samaria and his Bombos Medallion.
I'm pretty convinced that the bow is in Turtle Rock at this point.
Yeah, we've seen just about everywhere else, really. The theFEARAgent about to get trolled by this boost hint. Alright, he's already... Okay, no rage for that one. I guess he's let all his rage out already. That's the kind of thing where you probably just laugh.
So Megawatt's got a potion glitch here, and gonna clear that right side of Pod. As for Megawatt, what other checks outside of Pod does he even have?
Yeah, did he do the Zora area?
Has
Don't
not
remember.
yet.
So he'll probably loop that in with Catfish.
I don't think a pyramid check has been done either. To be honest, I don't know if either of them have done a pyramid check.
Yeah, I think Megawatt did not go into Eastern, so he might jump in there after Pod as well. So that'll waste a little more time for him.
Oh, Fear found the shovel on Pyramid. Okay.
I'm pretty sure Fear did Eastern, but Megawatt skipped it. He just did Sastrala's Closet.
Yeah, Fear did Eastern, for sure.
So if Megawatt does jump into Eastern, which honestly I think he probably will, that'll be just a few more minutes that Fear has to start catching up. Oh, Megawatt did not kill Argus. I don't know if there's an item on Argus, but you never know, that bow could be there.
So Hitsuyan saying Iced Tea Room would also have an item. Iced Tea with shield. Okay. But it's something that Megawatt has not grabbed, so it will be on his mind, perhaps, that some of the checks he left behind may start to play with his head.
And Fear, okay, he flew to the wrong spot. Yeah, he's going into Swamp now. So he'll get his cane, he'll get his bombos, presumably.
Yeah, coming out of this, Fear will still have some catching up to do, and it's just going to be a matter of how long it's going to take for Megawatt to find that fire rod, because as soon as he finds that fire rod, if the bow is in Turtle Rock, that's going to be pretty much a go mode for Megawatt, but we'll see.
Fear actually going to do a couple overworld checks first. I don't know if he did purple chest.
I don't know if Fear has or Megawatt has done Graveyard Ledge either yet.
Yeah. Okay, so where's Megawatt gonna head after this? I really don't think he has much left outside of Catfish, Zora, and that Graveyard Ledge.
I don't think he's done Hammer Pegs.
Fear seeing that hint for the hammer.
And
okay, Megawatt is leaving Pod this way, so I assume he's headed towards Pyramid and then Catfish.
Yep. And this will be the play that he needs to make. Well, not even checking Pyramid, just going straight to Catfish. So I'm sure Fear is not going to feel too good about knowing all of these things were boot locked. You know.
Yeah.
The boot's locking quite a bit.
So, do you think Fear is gonna go through and kill Argus, or do you think he's gonna bail after he finds that Bombos?
It's really hard to say. I don't know Fear as a runner, so it's hard to say because you have two two thought processes in mind when you do it. You either say, well, I've left stuff behind before already, and it's come back to haunt me, so maybe I don't want to leave stuff behind. But at the same time, if you feel behind, ooh,
He is leaving, so if that bow does end up on Argus, it's going to throw both these runners equally. Frostbite, yes. Escape has been checked because the Moon Pearl was there.
but yeah, as I was saying, you could either think of it like you don't want these things to haunt you, or you may feel behind, so you're like, I can't waste any time more than I need to on certain checks.
Yeah. Alright, so FEARAgent gonna have to pretty much full clear Meyer. He'll get his Ether, and Megawott meanwhile about to pick up his Fire Rod. So I'm guessing he will be straight to Turtle Rock after this.
And yep, it would be bow mode.
So if I had to guess, I'd say right now Fear's maybe 4 or 5 minutes behind.
Yeah.
He's got to do the rest of Meyer, but then he'll be able to head up to Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and there's still the fact that if Bo is not in Turtle Rock, both our runners are going to have to go on a hunt.
Yeah, but I mean, there's really not much left outside of there's Argus. There's I guess there's always that. No, it can't be on Pedestal. Pod's a pendant, so Pedestal's dead. So yeah, there's really not that much.
But yeah, this seed is just short of an all dungeon seed here. We've had to dip all the pendant dungeons pretty deeply in some cases.
Yeah. Pod was the only one really that wasn't required. Although it's given how the seed played out, it's kind of hard to avoid dipping there.
Mm-hmm. And we still are looking for a unique item here as well, because unless bottles don't count as unique, right?
Yeah. So there's only these first 3 chests, as well as what's on Trinax, count as being Cane of Samaria locked, because in inverted mode you can get to the rest of the chests without the Cane of Samaria. So that unique item at this point is on Trinax.
And Fear just about done with Meyer here, setting up that spooky action, at least giving it a shot.
He did not get it. So it's not a huge deal, only costs maybe 10 seconds or so, but still, he's probably feeling behind, so you want to I want to do things as fast as possible.
I would say that Book is in GT at this point.
If you're going to use slightly different tactics than Megawatt did.
Yeah, something I learned as I was watching some races that you can, in fact, kill Vitreous before killing all of his eye puffs. Well, his eyeballs, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of not necessarily the most efficient way to do it, but it's possible.
Oh, wow.
Okay, bow in the big chest of Turtle Rock. That is, that's go mode for Megawatt. So 1 hour, 26 minutes and change. So he's just got to finish off the rest of Turtle Rock. He's got to go back to Eastern and do that, and then he'll be on to GT. And yeah, this is it's pretty big lead for Megawatt.
Yeah.
I don't even know if GT routing would be enough to make up, since he's basically the difference between them is pretty much almost a full Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and the thing is, a lot of things could happen. So it's, obviously it's not over yet, but yeah, as you say, like the full Turtle Rock difference is that's a large gap to overcome. So it is Megawatt's race to lose, and it looks like Megawatt's gonna go ahead and check Laser Bridge, get that key, and get half magic on the way.
Half magic's always nice to find. So there is a unique item on Trinex, but we don't really care what it is, since we don't need anything else. But just for fun, what do you guess that it's going to be?
Blue cane.
I'm going to say silver arrows.
Yeah, silvers would be a very nice little roundup here.
Actually, you know what I just realized? No, that hint could also be referring to GT. So,
yeah,
I'm mistaken. There might not be anything here.
And it's a map.
Okay, so there's a unique item in GT on the cane lock side. I completely forgot about that.
Well, I mean, we were thinking, because Bo had to be somewhere, so we were just thinking that Turtle Rock held the keys to progression, which it did, but not where we expected.
Yeah. Okay, so Megawatt just has to flute to Eastern Palace. He's already been through there, so he just has to dash straight to the boss. Oh, fear. No, missed that. Fire rod shot. I think he can still get there in time.
Did we get all the items out of Eastern?
I don't know. So yeah, really, I mean, even if GT routing, even if Fear were to do, say, a tile room gamble, and that worked, I still think he's a bit too far behind. So it's going to take some real problems for Megawott for Fear to have much of a shot here.
Yeah,
But it's not over till it's over.
and if I recall, I don't think Megawatt has any issues with Silverless Ganon.
No, I'm sure both these runners are quite comfortable with that, especially on Tempered Sword. So yeah, just the story of the seed really just comes down to the boots.
Yeah.
Fear skipping that one chest in Skull Woods really kind of threw the race, and Megawatt skipping the hammer, but did get lucky to find it with that hint from Swamp Palace.
Yeah, and I mean, it all comes down to, when you mention the boots, like I said, the longer you have the boots and the mirror, the more time savings, add up over the course of a run. The longer you have them and your opponent doesn't.
Yeah, boots and mirror are two of the items that really allow you to get your checks in efficiently.
Because, like, if you get them at the end of the run, that's really not a whole lot of time save. But if you get them early on and your opponent doesn't, that's a lot of time save.
Yeah, it really adds up over the course of the run. But okay, Megawatt's on to GT, so let's get our big key guessing game started. So there are 22 chests in the basement of GT. One of them will hold the big key. So throw your guess in chat, 1 to 22. What are you going to say, Jetters?
I always go with lucky number 7.
Alright, I will guess number 15 today.
And I don't know if Megawatt intentionally saved that portal or not, but that's a good little time save there.
Alright, Megawatt opening up GT. Gonna go left side first.
And Fear is going to go ahead and check the whole bridge, and not much to be found there, just a big 20 and a compass.
He's probably just hoping for silver arrows, I think.
Yeah.
Alright, chest number 2, small key. Number 3, oh, there's our silvers. Number 4, small key. Number 5, piece of heart. And Megawatt can do Dark Magician strats, head over to the right side now.
So yeah, with that pickup of the silvers, this will be a very comfortable Ganon fight.
And why not a couple of shields in the Hope Room just for fun?
Yeah.
Alright, Fear has Trinex down, so he's got to head to Eastern and finish that off. Well, we might get a look at what that unique item actually is here. It's the single arrow. Oh, and the mushroom. So 2 unique items. But okay, no big key on the right side. And oh, I kind of lost count. What is that? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? So I think we're on number 12 now.
Yeah.
Number
And
12 is the compass.
now if we go to the fire snake room.
So this would be number 13. And just a small key there.
Off to Rando room.
$14 small key, $15 big key. That was my guess.
Well, looks like you're the winner.
I am. Well, let's see who won in chat. Okay, looks like nobody guessed 15. We got... Looks like the closest was Highland Chief with 14. I don't see any 16s either. So, yeah, Highland Chief is the winner in chat.
And Fear making it to the Armos Knights. Didn't quite get the pattern, but is going to finish them off right here. Megawatt starting the gauntlet. And again, this is Megawatt's race to lose, so, you know, you never know what could happen. There could be a death at the top of GT, you know, that could be a catastrophe.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how this plays out, but Megawatt's got this in hand if he just has clean execution the whole way through.
Doesn't quite get the one cycle there. Got hit by a fireball. Having a little trouble with this last one, but gets it done on the 4th cycle.
Hits you on calling out in chat that Megawatt is apparently not a Hanzo main.
I don't know that reference, but
It's Hanzo. Hanzo is a he is a character in Overwatch and uses the bow primarily.
Alright, Fear opening up GT now.
And unfortunately, that key is buried, so not much in the
Yeah.
opportunity of time save here.
Yeah, I mean, he could go full left to save a little time, but that's not going to be enough unless Megawatt has an absolute disaster here. On to Moldorm 2.
And Fear is not going to go full left. Looks like Fear is also going to do Dark Magician.
Yeah, so that's going to eat up some more time. And then he'll get his Mirror Shield as well. There's Moldorm 2 down for Megawatt.
And let's pick up an extra heart container just conveniently while we're at it.
Yep.
Alright, let's see if Aghanim 2 has nice patterns today. And starting out kind of nice.
Gets a double. Ooh, got none there. Alright, that's the third hit.
Ooh, this is a nice one here.
Ooh, almost a triple. One more hit will be enough.
20121.
If you're going full right now, alright, Megawatt is on to Ganon.
And it looks like Ganon is a bit hungry, so we needed to bring the food item from Zelda 1.
Well, we did pick up that mushroom in GTU. Doesn't that count?
Maybe I guess maybe he's a carnivore or something.
Well, on to phase 3.
And Megawatt showing Ganon that yes, he did find the arrows in his tower.
There's the first 2 silvers. Has the torch glitch. Not that he needs it.
And
that's it.
down goes the pig. Megawatt just has to cross the bridge, and you know, this is where a lot of runs die. You know, people just fall off the bridge, and that's it.
Yeah. Alright, get your GGs in chat from Megawatt, who is the winner representing Team Fendrana Drifters. And the official SRL time is 1 hour, 44 minutes, and 31 seconds. So we'll see if Megawatt wants to come in for an interview. And Fear sees the dot done. He's going to go ahead and finish the seed out. There's that big key for Fear.
And Fear is going to start the ascent, and we are joined by Megawatt. Megawatt GG, congratulations on the win.
Thanks.
How'd you feel about the seed?
I'll be honest, I felt pretty awful about most of it. There were a few redeeming points here and there where I feel like I actually made the right decision, but especially early on, it just felt so bad. Like, and the bad feeling started super early when. So like my normal open route is I go south if I don't find bombs from the Uncle play. I go south and farm bombs from the bushes, and then in doing that, like for like a minute and a half, I lost 9 out of 10 50-50 drops. So I was like, all right.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
We're already gonna gamble that there's just bombs in Kakariko. And then there were 10 bombs in the race game, which I got. And then there were like 6 more 3-bomb drops in Kakariko.
Yeah.
It was a little silly. I got a little tilted early on from that.
You know,
then,
speaking.
Sorry, go ahead.
Speaking of early on, in the race, the interesting thing was, you had not checked bumper ledge for that hammer, and then, you went and dipped swamp either for just the hint tile or maybe to check that first chest. But then it told you, "Hey, there's the hammer." And like, what were your thoughts going through your head when you found that hint tile?
Yeah, initially my plan was to just dip for the one item and hope it was hammer, because I had to gamble something because I felt really behind. That still early on in the seed. But then I found that, and I was like, all right, we'll just go do Zora's Domain. And then I just stopped at Hobo. I was like, all right, we'll route this with Catfish, so I don't orphan Catfish. So I just stopped after Hobo and then went up there since I already knew it was going to be up there, so might as well go grab my hammer. And then I changed my mind again after getting my hammer. Let's go back to Swamp Palace. I couldn't make up my mind on what to do, so I just did everything halfway.
Well, I think the early divergence happened when so you went to Sahasrara, got the glove, then you just save and quit, went to escape, or back of escape, got the hook shot.
Yep.
But you didn't have the Moon Pearl, so you couldn't do the Dark Death Mountain. Fear, on the other hand, did the front of escape before heading over to Eastern. So he had the Moon Pearl when he finally made it to East Death Mountain and got that cape and got the hammer before you did. But
Right.
he went into Skullwoods, got the flippers, and did not check that vanilla big key chest. So he was missing the boots.
Oh no.
Which of course led to the mirror.
Yeah, and that leads to all of your minor clearing ability. And
so we kind of had a situation there, was it, where you were missing the hammer and Fear was missing the boots and mirror. And it was kind of like, who's going to go back there first? And then you just got that hint in Swamp, which really bailed you out. So I think that pretty much, after that point, when you got the hammer, you were sort of in the lead for most of the rest of this race. Fear did find the fire rod first.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise
that.
me. It was in a pretty relatively accessible location. All you had to do was go check Catfish and then go back for Magic Bat. I just about last location, not quite last location, but pretty close.
Yeah, it seemed like there was a lot of last locationing going on in the seed.
Yeah, both of you were just kind of like near that last location, through the back half of the race, like almost the entire time. But yeah, it was definitely it was definitely interesting to watch this this progression unfold, because the seed was kind of stringing you along a little bit in certain locations, and then in others it just kind of like just shut you down, and it was just like kind of bursts of progression, and then like you had to search around for that next burst of progression.
Yeah, that bottle in Turtle Rock got me pretty good after that one.
Yeah,
really dumb
I was going to ask you about that. So what made you go up to Turtle Rock instead of checking some overworld spots.
Well, for that, I guess thinking back on it, I probably should have gone and done Zora's Domain after Ice Palace, but I think I was still feeling behind at the time, so I just decided I'm gonna gamble that one single accessible location in Turtle Rock, locked behind Canis Maria, is either Bow or Fire Rod. And that didn't exactly work out how I wanted it to. And then I went and did Pot Eastern, and then I went and did Catfish and Zora's Domain, and found my Fire Rod.
Yeah, so little did you know you were actually pretty far ahead at that point.
Yeah, that did not occur to me with the way I ended up playing this seed.
Yeah, and it all came down to you had the boots far longer than Fear did, and the boots, and obviously the mirror, because the boots were required to get the mirror. So like, that's one of the things that really helped you kind of build up that steam was, you know, having the boots for so long, and really being able to kind of speed around and add up that time saving over the course of the seed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
early
because
boots
Fear
is nothing
did
to
all.
sneeze at.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, early boots is nothing to sneeze at, especially with apparently how long it took him to get his compared to how early I got mine.
Yeah. Yeah, he would have last locationed it, I think, if he hadn't got that Fire Rod. Although it was still... I don't think he had much left to check. Anyway, Fear is through Ganon's tower. He's on to Ganon now.
Fear moving on to phase 2 here.
This is a nice position. You can get in some double sword spins here by just hugging the top wall.
And now we're into phase 3. Also, convenient location for those silvers.
Yeah.
All right, so Fear not getting the torch glitch, but with silvers, it's really, and half magic, it's really not too much of concern here.
Yeah. That's 3 arrows, just one more. And that's Ganon cooked for theFEARAgent.
All right, so that is about it for Fear. Just gotta make it to the Triforce, put hands on it, and stop the time.
And get your GGs in chat for Fear. He finishes with an official time of 1 hour 53 minutes and 39 seconds. And we're joined by theFEARAgent. GGs.
Hey, GG's. Good games, Megawott.
GG,
So,
Fear.
that was an unfortunate skip of those boots for you. And that, I would say, really is kind of what decided the race.
Yeah, I think if I find those boots, the rest of the seed laid out pretty smoothly.
Because you got that hammer well before Megawott did.
Yeah, I was wondering what happened with Megawatt, because after I got those boots, I was pretty much game over, because I cleared everything. I had purple chest left. That was it.
I made the mistake of not doing the front of escape before I went up to Death Mountain with my mitts and hookshot.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I missed out on the hammer for quite a while as a result of that.
Yeah, that stinks.
But Megawatt got bailed out because he decided to dip. He was in the area, decided to dip Swamp Palace, just check that first chest. And the hint in the front of Swamp Palace said, the hammer requires the cape. So he
Yeah,
knew
that's nice.
exactly where to go.
Good for him. I can I just say I do not like the hint system. I think the hint system is terrible.
Yeah, it definitely seems like I got a much better hint for my situation than you did.
Yeah, I got the hint that there was a unique item in Skull Woods, so I go to Skull Woods. I got the unique item, which was the flippers, and I was like, okay, there. I checked the rest of the front of Skull Woods, and I was like, well, there could be one more item in the back because I didn't have the fire rod yet. And I'm like, well, I mean, it can't be that important. Well, it turns out it was the freaking boots.
Yeah.
And then there was a boots hint in Desert telling you that the boots were in Skull Woods. I think that I love Randomizer. I love a Link to the Past Randomizer. I love the devs. I hate the hint system. I think it's terrible. Not that lost me the race, but it didn't help either.
Yeah, I've always felt that, if it's possible, it'd be nice to have hints have some form of logic to where you couldn't have situations where the boot hint is actually locked by the boots. So, I mean that's kind of like, but it's just, sometimes the hints aren't even helpful at all during the course of a race. Like, it just tells you where money is or something. So, I mean, you kind of, for hints, they're kind of random in their usefulness as well.
Yeah, I mean, I could see where I like the idea. I don't like the implementation of them. It's unfortunate. And again, it didn't cost me this race. Like, I could have literally just checked the rest of Skull Woods while I was there. But this isn't the only race I've done. My execution wasn't great. After I got the boots so late, I think it was like an hour 10, and I had 2 crystals cleared or something. I was just like, I had rage first, and then I calmed down, and I was just like, there's just no possible way that I'm winning this race. And then I got to GT, and he hadn't cleared yet. And I'm like, oh man, did I really just throw this? I don't think I did, but it didn't help myself. I got pretty tilted. I'm not gonna lie. This race tilted me. This seed tilted me. It was weird that there was so few items in the light overworld. Like, I think I probably got the flute first, since I went right to Kakariko and the sword. But after that, I mean, there's gloves in the back of Escape, glove in Sashrala's closet, and the Moon Pearl in the basement, and there was nothing else until you got to the Dark World, or the Death Mountain.
Yeah, the progression definitely trickled in slowly at the start of the seed.
Yeah, and as we were saying with Megawatt, that the seed kind of seemed to like put you guys through bursts of progression. You'd have a couple items, a couple good progression items here, and then it would just be a hunt for the next little burst, and it just kept pulling you along in that fashion. And it kind of was like, there were points where it was like pretty wide open, so like, the checks that you could make, it was important, as to what your decisions were going to be, as where the items were going to kind of lay out.
Yeah, I just was not a fun seed to play. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
I don't. How many big 20s did we open like in the first 30 minutes? It felt like
Oh my
we
goodness.
got all of them.
So much of Sphere Zero was just completely empty. Like, all of Kakariko had just the flute. There was nothing at South Shore, nothing in Ice Rod Cave. Only like the Moon Pearl in the front of Escape, and then gloves in Zaha's closet, and then everything else was locked behind those gloves. Pretty much.
I actually felt pretty good about getting the hook shot when I did, even though it was like basically, I think, the last location I had. I think I had Zora left and the back of Escape, but I had the Moon Pearl, and I was thinking, well, if Megawatt goes and does Sasha's closet first and then gets those gloves, he'll get the mitts in the back. Or where were the mitts?
Mitts were in Paradox.
Okay, but you get the hook shot in the back of Escape. You go up and get mitts. So I felt pretty good early, It wasn't until
Yeah.
I finally found that the boots that late. Like I got the hammer right when I got to the Dark World. That felt really good. I went right into Thieves Town. Got the hint about Skull Woods. Got the flippers. Didn't feel really good about that. But if I'd grabbed the boots right then, I feel like the seed could have gone so much differently. But
Yeah, just one of those. I guess just one of those things that just you skip one chest, and unfortunately, it's the chest you really
it's the
didn't want to skip.
exact yeah. How I do that all the time. I skip one chest, and it happens to be the one chest that I shouldn't skip. I mean, how about that?
I mean, I think that happens to everyone. Like, I see, I've seen so many races where the runner just wants to skip one chest because it's a pain to check, whether it be, your Swamp Palace big chest or your Thieves Town big chest or, some of the Skullwood stuff. Like, every time, it seems like every time I see someone skip it, it always comes back to haunt them. And it's just the nature of rando. It seems like it punishes you when you try to skip on things.
Yep, that's the lesson. Don't skip the boots.
Yeah. Well, did you go? Either of you guys have any final thoughts you wanted to say before we start to wrap things up?
Just GG's, Megawatt. Thanks, guys, for doing commentary. And this league is dumb. Whoever thought of it is dumb.
Oh,
I have no idea who that is.
yeah. Yeah, and shout out to our tracker, Hitsoyan1337, keeping things running smoothly for the duration of the stream. Let me just load up the schedule here, see what else we have. Okay, so there's not any more league matches today. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern is my teammate, SAGTG, who will be facing off against Gem. And then at 7 p.m. Eastern is P-Train versus Mystic. So there's a couple of matches. We don't know what channel those will be on, but check the schedule tomorrow, and hopefully we'll have restreams for those. And what else? There is... the daily race actually is going on right now. It's Speed Gaming 2. That started just about half an hour ago, so if you want to catch some more rando action, you can head over to Speed Gaming 2 for that. But yeah, I've been Etium, and my wonderful co-com was HXC Jetters. So do you want to have the last word?
Yep. It was a great race. As a viewer, this is a fun race to watch. I know the runners feel a bit differently about it, but I want to thank the runners for putting on a great race, and I'm excited and looking forward to more rando action soon.
Yeah, good games, Megawatt. You definitely deserve the win. I knew I was gonna have. I knew I was gonna have an uphill battle, and that seed definitely didn't break my way.
GG's to you too.
GG's to both of you guys. Yeah, thanks for putting this on.